in the faces of people so our movies can do well. You know, you'd be surprised. You'd be very surprised. And after talking to Toad TQ Jefferson at that Comic Con that we all went to, that I think that's their strategy for that. So don't be surprised. Don't be surprised. But okay, animal fans, we're switching to the next topic, and this one I don't think we're gonna spend that much time on. But I will say, if the rumors are true, Demizzle and Shinwar were actually. I don't know if we had a debate on this, but I know that I was asking for Internet Explorer to come to the Xbox 360. I am freaking happy because if you think about it, the 360 is pretty much a dumbed down computer per se. You know what I mean? It can do everything else from YouTube and Zoom and all this other stuff, right? Why not add an internet browser to it? The PlayStation 3 came with a browser outside of the box. And that was a no no for Microsoft because I think at the time, I think they were concerned that with the problem with people hacking and getting into the system and all that stuff. All right, I understand that. But if you think about it, if the system was supposed to be an all-in-one, like their vision for the 360 was supposed to be like your all-in-one entertainment center. All right, so how could you achieve that without adding something as basic as a web browser in the dashboard? I've been looking forward to this. I hope it's true because they're saying that the Kinect is supposed to be involved with this whole jump. But Demizo, I'll give you the floor and then I'll let Nelson respond. So Demizo, what do you think about these rumors?
Well, it's not really a rumor. It's pretty much accepted as fact at this point because it's gonna happen. Like, because as you said, Microsoft has switched to this uh, platform where they want your Xbox 360 to be your pretty much center of entertainment. Personally, I'm not for putting web browsers on consoles because you get into the whole PC on TV deal, and I'm not a fan of that at all because you're essentially now selling, instead of selling a home console for video games, you're selling a stripped down PC.
So let me ask you this, Dave. Are you a hater?
Not a hater, just because like everybody tells me like, oh, you're a Microsoft fanboy, and I'm like, dude, I don't agree with this decision. Like the first, I wasn't a fan of the browser on the PlayStation 3, and even on PlayStation 2 they had a browser that came with the network card and everything. If people remember that, and I wasn't a fan of that. So I'm not a fan of browsers on video game consoles. If you want to browse the internet, go on your computer. Most people's computers are literally like 5 feet away from their home consoles anyway. So
But let me
you
tell you this, not to cut you off. The reason why I am for it right now is the fact that, okay, for things like streams, tournaments, things like that, Evo, you know, if you can watch it live off of your console, that would be great if they had like a picture in picture feature where you can be playing a game and then, have, seasons beatings, or you can have East Coast Throwdown, or you can have, God's Garden, or whatever is being streamed, right? While you're playing like a fighting game or something. You know what I mean?
see, I
Because
would
it's kind of hard for me to. All right, I'm sitting here looking at my laptop screen and looking at my 42-inch screen visor. You know what I mean? I would like to have the option of having that convenience. You know what I mean? That I don't know that this. I guess it's a matter of preference. You're probably con. I'm pro. Like, let me ask you, Nelson. What do you think about that?
I think for Microsoft, it's needed to happen because, like, the PlayStation 3 and the Nintendo Wii, at first, it took like about like a month or so to get their browser, but it still came out of the box and it was still free. It was trying to support the PS3 was more of an actual official web browser support, but it had a lot of like, cons and it was like not that great.
Yeah, that's very true. That's very true. But
And
it had it nonetheless.
Right, but for the Xbox, as you were saying, with the whole all-purpose idea for such as, because we already have a music player on the 360. If we have the internet, that would be it for that. We already have Zune, we already have Netflix, we have Hulu, we have YouTube, we have Facebook, we got Twitter. We are getting every social media network confined onto one little ass thing. And as you said, if we can get internet and it can be optimized to the point where you can watch streams or you can use the Kinect, it will bring more audiences closer to this because then if you think about it, this will basically be very similar to Apple TV.
Oh,
If you
that's a
think
good
about it,
point.
because we already have Fios TV on the Xbox, and we also are getting another cable company that
Xfinity is already on.
right.
NMO Beatdown has it.
Yeah, we have Xfinity, and I heard for the European people they have
Sky.
Sky, yes.
yeah, they have the Sky, so everything is starting to be conformed. You can watch TV, do all your shit. So adding a web browser would just make the Xbox even much more on top of things, and it will still beat Sony in many different ways when it comes to only social media. But when it comes to hardware, that's a whole nother story for a whole nother topic. But I am definitely for the web browser, and if it would optimize to help us for tournaments and for anything else, I'm for it.
Yeah, the only thing I see as a con, somebody trying to do something stupid and try to hack and mess things up.
Oh,
But I think it can only majority. It can only make things better. It can only make things better, and then it'll probably sell to a different demographic where somebody will be like, all right, I want my movies, my browser, and all that stuff, without having to go through the whole. Oh, I gotta buy a PC. I gotta hook it up to play games and whatever. You can do that. I mean, it's not for everybody. Don't get me wrong, but
you
Nelson,
just
I
brought up
want
a
you to.
point.
Yeah, go ahead.
You just brought up a good point. I'm gonna make this real quick because on the PlayStation 3, you can go on the internet browser and you can download stuff that you would normally have to pay on the PlayStation Network for free if you know what sites to look on.
Don't tell
If
people
this,
that, Nelson.
I'm just saying, I'm gonna still keep my mouth shut about it, but if it goes the same route as it is on the Xbox, I guarantee that's gonna be the brand new Dreamcast of saves,
uh,
and you should know what I'm talking about.
yeah, okay. You know what? We will change the subject real quick. All right, two more topics, NMO fans, because I'm trying to catch up on being, a working man now, and it's kind of hard to find time. But two major topics. Actually, I wouldn't even call the Resident Evil one a topic, but I want to dig in Capcom's ass right now. I want to take a spoon and do some Oz to it because these
Uh,
motherfuckers. How is it that they're so bold and boisterous that they're saying that Resident Evil 6 is set to sell 7 million units? Now
I
here's
call
my thing. Here's my
call
thing.
extreme bullshit.
Yeah, here's my thing. Considering how Capcom has been handling their games as of late, NMO fans, be very mindful. Look at Capcom's track record for the last 18 months. Okay? Resident Evil, in the light of all the bad shit, is not going to come anywhere near 7 million units. And if anybody does buy it, they're fucking sheep. They're fucking sheep because I'm telling you, it's gonna be littered with download content or dislike content. It's gonna be all this crap. The ending's probably gonna be withheld, and you're gonna have to pay for it. I'm telling you, it's gonna be a disaster. And there's no way it's going to sell 7 million units. That's a large number for a Resident Evil game. Actually, Nelson, I'll give you the floor first, and Demizzle, let me know what you think. Go ahead.
Oh my God, 6 or 7 million units. I can
I
probably
want to
say
eat my
it,
words. I want to eat
I
my
can
words.
honestly say it might sell that amount of money, but I don't know about in units because I know they have a bundle that they want people to pay, which is like $1,300 for the fucking
Jacket.
Leon Kennedy jacket or Chris Redfield jacket or Wesker's son's leather jacket with the game and 5 DLC content. But 6 or 7 million units, that means that mainly Japan will be getting more of the unit buying because out of the US, you would have to give us You will have to give us co-op, you will have to give us online play versus DLC content already on the disc without having us to pay for it, already being unlocked,
Hmm.
and then we can enjoy the game as long as it's good. But I don't know, they're trying to, smack us in the face for all the shit that's been going on with the Street Fighter Cross Tekken, the Assure's Wrath bullshit, and any other Capcom game that's being dropped, and also the conflict with the whole Devil May Cry thing with Ninja Theory saying that,
Don't
oh,
even bring that up. You
you
know
know.
how pissed off I am about that.
But in that case, I mean, if they do sell that many, all props to Capcom for shutting me and you and everyone else up. But I don't know. In my opinion, if it does sell that much, it would mainly be because of Japan.
I'm gonna go on record, and I don't mind being proven wrong, but Capcom can't do it. They won't do it. I'm telling you, 7 million, and I'm telling you, the only way that people are going to be buying it, believe it or not, are some of the younger audience who are probably just getting into Resident Evil, who has no idea what the hell Capcom is doing up their asses. So, Demizzle, what are your thoughts?
First of all, I'm gonna say Capcom is full of shit when they say that it's not gonna sell 6 or 7 million because, like, if you look at the most popular games that are up near that, like Madden sells about 10, 11 million across all consoles. Then you've got Call of Duty selling about like 12 million across all consoles. Then you move down that Halo like 5 or 6 million just on Xbox 360, and you got Gears of War like 5 or 6 million just on Xbox 360. And there's no way in hell that Resident Evil now is anywhere near as popular as those games. Like people aren't lining up to play Resident Evil. Like look online today, see what games are still being played. Those games that I just mentioned, people are still playing those games out the ass, especially Call of Duty, Gears of War, Halo Reach, still playing those games online. Go on Resident Evil 5. You'll be lucky if you find like 4 or 5 people playing
I
it.
can't
So
find any. I have the PC version and I have the Xbox version of Resident Evil 5. I can't find any partners. It's
see,
Gears
it's
of War 1. I still can find people to play co-op with.
of course, because it's like those types of games, they have the hook. They have what people want to play. They have their own unique hook. With Resident Evil, they've even said we're gonna move into a more zombie action shooter instead of survival horror. So
If I wanted House of the Dead, I would have bought House of the Dead.
yeah,
But
they're moving away from a unique niche into okay, we're moving into that space where Left for Dead is and House of the Dead is and like every other zombie shooter is. You're not having anything unique other than the Resident Evil name. And just as I mentioned with Sony before, the Resident Evil name isn't worth that much anymore because it's not a unique property anymore.
exactly, I agree 100%. And most of you animal fans know that me and Demizzle go at it a lot. It's healthy though for our broadcast, but I have to high five him with this one because Resident Evil has assimilated itself into mainstream bullshit, and the survival horror aspect of that franchise is gone. And it was gone after what was that?
I'd
Resident
say
Evil
Resident
4 was the last one to really have that kind of element to it.
No, I'd say Resident Evil 3 and Codename Veronica were the last truly survival horror Resident Evils. Like Resident Evil 4 moved into that over the shoulder kind of shooter dimension, and it made the game entirely too easy because there was no fear for
Getting
running out
wrapped
of
up.
ammo,
Yep.
and you could target specific body parts. Like you could headshot all day through the game, and like I can tell you from experience, like on my second playthrough of Resident Evil 4 and 5, I can literally go through the game with just a pistol
Hmm.
and not run out of ammo.
True. But I guess my final thoughts on this Resident Evil 6 is now you heard that you can run and shoot now. So all they turned it into was Resident Gears of War. What do you think, Nelson, before we move on?
I mean, like I said, it's gone from what it used to be, where it had shitty ass camera angles, the games was stiff, you could only, lock on to one zombie at a time, there was no aiming reticle, to coming down to like this over the top Hollywood mainstream game now, and it's getting much, much worse. I mean, don't get me wrong, we do like some flashy shit here and there, but if you started great with a franchise, keep it great. Don't make it weird and confusing.